I'm gonna show you 5 secrets for unstoppable handles. Let's get started. So the first secret is to really master 5 moves. I'd say that's a good starting point. You can expand as you get better, but what I'm gonna give you through the rest of this video will really help you with expanding. But you wanna have 5 moves that you have down exactly the same way every single time, and you can repeat it perfectly. You got all the details right. I've got tons of videos on my channel for different moves, so just go through my channel. At the end of the video, I'll actually link you to a video with some specific moves, but here's just a quick example that we'll roll with for most of the video. One move that a lot of players use is between legs into the cross. Tim Hardaway, UTEP 2-step. So for this, I'm gonna focus on stepping in with this foot, and then I'm gonna have that crossover between the legs come out nice and low. I'm gonna have this hand low weighting. I'm gonna lean into this direction a little bit to sell the fake. And since this hand's gonna be on the basketball nice and low, I can push it across nice and quick and real tight to my legs. So those are all the little details that I'm gonna focus on when doing this move. Now, if you go ahead and do that same thing with another move like the inside out dribble, go ahead and repeat the process for 5 moves. You're gonna have 5 moves that you know, okay, when game time comes, I'm super comfortable with this move. I know I have great control over it. I've got all the details mastered. And the more you do them in game, this is kind of a little extra secret, do them in games, you start to learn how to use them on defenders, where the spacing needs to be, how close or far you should be from them, and then also just the right times where, you know, there's maybe an opening here or maybe there's not enough opening, and you'll have these different moves for those different situations. That brings us to the second secret, which is for every single move that you've got to have a different way to set it up. Because if you're always setting it up by just taking a dribble, stepping into it and doing everything the same, defenders are gonna know exactly what you're doing, and they're gonna know, okay, he's gonna fake this way, come this way. But if I change how I set it up by starting to move this way before getting into it, that's gonna give it a different look. If I maybe go with an in and out dribble and get into it, that's gonna give it a different look. I can maybe set it up by moving this way to really sell the defender early. Okay, he's really actually gonna attack this way this time. And then next thing you know, you're changing directions that way. These changes in the setup are key to make sure that the defender doesn't know what you're gonna do before you get into it, but you're still able to get off a move that you're super comfortable and confident in because you've repped it out and worked on those details. Next secret is you've gotta be able to change the way you're doing that move with where the ball is. So if the defender's a little bit closer, I wanna really focus on having that ball positioning tight on this crossover, maybe even thinking about pulling it slightly back and less of that 45-degree angle forward than I normally would. If I've got a little bit more space to play with and there's more cushion between me and the defense, I can afford to push it out a little bit more. In some situations, maybe I need to change the timing by starting a little bit higher and then going lower. Maybe I got a defender that I have to sell a little bit bigger fake with to get them to bite. So then in that instance, I'm gonna bring the ball a little bit wider before getting into that crossover. These changes in the ball positioning allow you to be much more dynamic and react to different game situations. Now you still got that same move that you're super comfortable with, and you're just gonna work on practicing in slightly different ways with the ball positioning, the height, where it is around your body. I could have it back further, or I could have it come out further. I can have it tighter. I can have it wider. But all these changes are gonna give me different options for different game situations, and I can rely on a move that I'm super comfortable with. It's gonna be easy to get those variations on because I'm already comfortable with the specific way I've mastered it. And now when game time comes, all that stuff will just flow. I don't even have to think about it. The next secret that ties in with this, but it's probably even more important, is your footwork. Your footwork has a really big effect on what kind of a fake you're selling. If I take a short step, that's really gonna change the fake, versus if I take a really long step. It's gonna change if I drop down into that between the legs. If I need to keep a little more space and can't get so close to the defender, this is a better option. I could think about stepping out this way before getting into the crossover. That really changes the dynamic. Or if I step across the body with this step before getting into the crossover, that's gonna change the dynamic. Or if I come from this and hop back. See, all there's these different options, and it really changes the effect of the move. I'm doing the exact same 2 dribbles between the legs into a cross, but when we start adding in changes in footwork, changes in setup, and changes in ball positioning, now your handles become really crazy and you can adapt to anything. And again, since you've got this down so solid, adding some of this stuff is gonna be a lot easier. And if you need different ideas on footwork for your moves, the video that I'm gonna link you to at the end is gonna give you a lot. Next secret to unstoppable handles is you gotta have counter moves. So we kind of talked about that a little bit with our footwork before. An example would be going from that between the legs cross into hopping out the opposite direction. But we're not talking here with counter moves just footwork stuff. We're talking the whole package, entire moves. So think about how you added a move to your setup, like an inside out into a between the legs. Well, you could do the same thing after your move. We can think about footwork, but we can also think about ball movement, right? So I could go in and out as a setup between cross and then add another in and out as a counter move. I could go between cross into another cross and literally think about all the different options that you got for your different moves. Behind the back, you got your spin move, right? You can just go through a whole list of moves and have all kinds of counters for different game situations, but it doesn't have to be just dribble moves either. We could talk about between legs cross into a jump shot. We could do between the legs cross into a drive. We can go between the legs cross slight hezzy and go. Between the legs cross shot hezzy and go. And again, since you've got this exact same move down with all the details, adding these to the end is gonna be a lot easier. And a really good secret for you is if you really wanna take this next level, the free workout that's pinned in the comments will help you with both your athleticism, footwork, and your ball control. And right here's the video with the different variations of moves. And that video's got a ton of different footwork variations for your crossover, as well as ball positioning. And you can add that kind of stuff to any of your moves. Hit the like button if the video was helpful, and I'll see you in that free workout next.